Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so we are starting the second class now. So we will navigate to Google Colab and then, okay, sorry, I forgot to share the screen again. Just a minute. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. Thank you. Okay, so we will write Google Colab on Google. So the first website we get, we will open it. And then we can use the same notebook which we created yesterday for the first lecture. So I am clicking here first class.ipynb, and then we can connect the Google Colab from here, from the right top. Okay, so it is taking time to connect. So is there any question of yesterday, uh, the thing the print statement we discussed yesterday? So is there any confusion in that, or should we move on to variables? Is there any confusion? Please text. Okay, I think there is no confusion. Okay, so let's move to variables. So yesterday we started variables, right? So and we discussed what are variables. So we said variables are data containers. Variables are data containers. Okay, so we took the example of a glass or cup, or we can also have a bucket or any other thing in which we can store something, right? So variables are uh, just like those containers, just like a glass or cup or anything else that can contain data. So we saw that if I want to store something which is a sentence, or it can be a word or anything else, so I have to enclose it in single or double quote first of all. So I wrote this name Muhammad Ali, and I stored this Muhammad Ali, this name, into a variable called name, right? So on the right side, this name is actually my variable. Then I took equals to, and then I assigned the value whichever I want to store into that variable. So this way, Muhammad Ali will be stored into name variable. Okay, so then I created another variable with the name age, and I stored 3 into age variable. Now Python, what Python will do? Python will take this this text and store in name, and similarly this number and store in age. So now in the next cell, if I print name, so I will get Muhammad Ali. Okay, so I got Muhammad Ali when I printed the name. Why? Because name is a variable which contains this string. Fine. So name contains this string which is Muhammad Ali. Then I also printed age which is 3. So I will get 3 if I call age. Fine. So you people have to notice one thing here, that when I am calling the variable, so Python is actually bringing the value stored in that. When I am calling the variable name, which is name itself, so if I call the name, Python will give the value inside that variable. Fine. So this was something which we discussed yesterday. So today we will discuss the naming rules for variable, which is very important. So let me write here naming rules for variables.
uh,
Okay, so we have different naming rules for variables. So let's start from the one which is variables are case sensitive. So this is something which we also discussed, that Python programming is itself case sensitive. Fine. So similarly, variables are also case sensitive. Now let's understand what do I mean by case sensitive. So I take a new cell and let me say name. Okay, let's say I call it name and I store the value again, only the value Muhammad. Fine. And then I take another variable, but I am taking a capital N. So I have taken two variables. One is completely in small letters and the other one is with capital N. And I store another name here. Let's call it Ali, for example. So now Python will treat both of these names separately. If we call this name, if we call this name, so we will get the value Muhammad. Fine. And if I call this variable which is with capital N, so Python will give me this name which is Ali. Okay, let's execute it. I call parent statement and I print the name all with small letters. So if I execute the cell, we will see that Muhammad is stored into that name. Fine. And now if I print the name with capital N, so I will get Ali. So what this tells us, that Python is case sensitive, and similarly variables, we also call that variables are case sensitive. So whenever we are storing the data into something, we have to make sure its spelling or its case sensitivity. So if we change the case, even if I had used for example small n here and I had taken for example capital E, which is not grammatically correct with respect to English as well. But if I take the name this way, so Python again will treat them separately. Fine. So this is the first rule which we call variables are case sensitive. And the second rule is variables can contain letters, numbers, and underscore. Right. So this is the second rule, that variables can contain letters, numbers, and underscore. So letters can be, okay, let me write here that letters can be A to Z in smaller letters, or they can also be A to Z in capital letters. Fine. And numbers can be any number and underscore. Okay, let's dive into the second rule a little bit more deeply. Sorry, let me just correct this thing. Okay, so look, as I just told you people, that we can use smaller letters and capital letters. For example, let me say vehicles. So for example, if I write vehicle in capital letters, so I can use it. I can use vehicle in capital letters and I can store, for example, Toyota. So I store this value into this variable, right? So this is completely legal in Python. We can make variables with capital letters. We can also make variable with smaller letters. We just discussed this thing above. So let's say Suzuki, for example. And Python, interesting thing is that Python will consider both these two variables separately. Okay, so the third thing is we can also use mixture of smaller and capital letters. So Python also allows that. So if I write capital V, E, capital H, and the remaining thing in smaller letters, so this is also completely legal. Python will not do anything with this. So let me store another thing here, Maruti for example. So all these variables are legal, and Python actually allows us to store the data into these variables. Fine. And one more thing, that they all these variables are different. Python does not treat them single variable. Python will consider them different variables, right? And then we can also use numbers. We can also use numbers. And for numbers, there is another rule associated, which is the third rule, I can say. Variables cannot start with numbers. Variables can contain numbers, fine, but variables cannot start with numbers. Okay, let's discuss this thing. So for example, if I write for example 3 and I write age, so this is illegal. Python will not allow me to store 90 value into this 3 age. Why? Because the rule says that variables cannot start with number. So if it starts, Python will not allow this thing. So if I execute this thing now, we will see the error here, and it is pointing that it is pointing here that 3 is something wrong, invalid decimal literal. So this error shows that we have used the variable name which is going against the rules of Python. Fine. So numbers cannot come at the beginning of the variable, but they do come at the center, at the end, or anywhere. Only they cannot come in the beginning. So let me remove 3 from here and let me write for example 3 at the end. So this is completely legal. I can also write 3 after a. So this is also legal, right? Although this is not the good practice, but this is legal, and Python will allow us to save the this data 90 value into this age variable. So let me run it and we will see there is no error right now. But syntactically or grammatically, this is not the good thing to write the number at the center or at the mid of the word. So we will remove this 3 and we can write at the end h3 or whatever. We can use any variable name and we can use the number at the center or at the end of the variable name, right? So is this clear so far? Just three things. Variables are case sensitive. We can use smaller letters, capital letters into variables, and we can also use numbers. But numbers cannot numbers cannot come at the beginning or at the first position of the variable. If it comes, so Python will not allow us to store the data into that. Okay. So the last thing is underscore. So we can also use underscore. Okay, so there is one interesting thing about underscore. Sorry. So look, we have different characters. Different characters mean we have exclamation mark, different symbols. Sorry, not characters, different symbols like at the red symbol, hashtag, dollar sign, percentage sign, caret sign, right? And we have lots of other symbols. So python does not allow us Python does not allow us to use any one of them. We cannot use any of the symbols except underscore. The only symbol we are allowed to use in variables is underscore, right? So we cannot use any of these symbols. Only we can use is underscore. Sorry. So that's why I wrote here that we can also use underscore, right? So this means we can only use underscore, and other than underscore we cannot use anything. So let me write the example for this. So for example, sorry. Okay, so for example, I take mm, a variable laptop, and I choose underscore at the end of this, and I take equal sign and assign a value, for example HP, right? So we can see that this is completely legal, and if I execute the cell, so we got no error here, right? So we can use underscore. And interesting thing is also about underscore is that underscore can be used anywhere. Unlike numbers, uh, underscore can also be used at the beginning of the variable. So let me copy this from here and paste it at the beginning. So this is also completely legal, and we can use this variable to store the data. Fine. So I executed the cell, and if I print the value now, so I will get HP. Fine. So for underscore, the rule for underscore is that we can use anywhere. We can use underscore anywhere, either at the start, in the middle, or at the end. Fine. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. So one more thing is that, okay, let me write here so that all the rules are gathered together. Okay, so variables cannot be Python reserved keywords, but they, yes, I'm recording this session. So variables cannot be Python reserved keywords, but they do contain them. Okay, so now what does this rule mean? Okay, first of all, understand what are Python keywords. We have to understand this thing. What are Python keywords? Okay, so let me go to the cell, and if I write, for example, is, so if you clearly notice the color of this word, let me zoom in a bit. So if you notice the color of for this is is, so it is blue. Fine. If I write true, so the color for this word is also true. The color for this is also blue. If I write false, so same thing with this. If I write, for example, not, so the color is also similar to, uh, not exactly blue, but almost blue. So look, actually the color, why I'm telling you the color, because whenever we write something, so if it is Python reserved keyword, it has a specific color for those words, right? So we cannot use these words, and there are lots of other keywords as well. So we cannot use these keywords to make them variable. So we cannot store data into these keywords. So for example, let me go to the next cell, and if I write is, and I try to store any value, for example abc, into this variable which is, so Python will give me the error. Look, invalid syntax. So Python is giving me the error. Why? The The reason is that is Python keyword. The word is Python keyword, Python reserved keyword. So Python will not allow us to store data into this. Fine. So this is what I have written here. Variables cannot be Python reserved keywords, but they do contain them. Means if I really want to use this Python reserved keyword, which is, so I can use it, but I have to write something else with this keyword. So let me write is student. Okay. So one more thing, let me clear this thing. For example, I want to make a variable is student. Fine, is student. So in English, how I will write it? First let me write here is student. So I am giving a space, right? I am giving a space between these two variables. Actually my variable contain two words, is and student. So what I will do, I will give space if I write in English. But the problem is if I want to store anything here, so this is not correct. Why? Python, this is the fifth rule, which says that we cannot have space between the variables. I come back to this fourth point again. Just let me write this rule here. Variables cannot contain the spaces, right? So this is very simple rule, and the example for this is here, that if I want to write is student or any other variable, for example my father name, this is a bit longer variable name. So for example if I write my father name, so Python says you cannot have spaces. Python does not allow us to have spaces in the variable's name. So what is the solution? The solution is simple. Either I can combine all these words, right? Either I can combine all these words so that I can make the I can store the value into this, right? So either I can remove the spaces and combine or merge all these words. This is the first thing we can do for removing the space. But if we do like this, so there is a problem that this is not readable for the users. So for example we can have more lengthier variables. So if we combine all those variables like this, so it won't be readable. So what is the best solution for this? We have to put underscore when we are removing the spaces. So it's better to use underscore so that the readability remains there. So this is the same thing here. What I said is student. So I want to make is student my variable, but I cannot have space between these two words. So what is the solution? The solution is to remove the space. And for removing the space, we can have several options, right? So the first option is I can remove the space and merge the words, combine them like this. But this is not the good practice for programming. So what we do, we use underscore to make the lengthy variables readable. So this way we can use the underscore. Okay, so I actually left half part of the fourth rule which I was discussing, but they do contain them. Means reserved keywords, we cannot use only the reserved keywords. If we want to use reserved keywords, so we have to do something else, or we have to write something else with those reserved keywords. So is a Python reserved keyword, and if I want to store a value or my string or anything else into this, it is not possible. So I have to write something else. So I can either use underscore or any other uh, word here, or if I want to leave it like this, so I can do it this way as well. Fine. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. So the good practice, the good practice for writing the variable name is what? That we have to use the letters. We have to keep the letters in smaller case. This is a good practice. But usually programmers do what they do. They actually write the variables in smaller case. So this is the first thing. Second thing is that they use underscore when the variable is longer. Fine. So this is the good practice which we usually see when a professional programmer writes the variable's name. So for example, one example for this good practice, like I want to say I want to make a variable my third school, for example, my third school. So but I can write it this way, for example, my third school. But as we just discussed that we cannot have spaces between spaces in the variables name. So what I will do, the good practice, using the good practice, I will use underscore and underscore here as well, and I will assign, for example, any value here. Fine. So this is the good practice. If you have longer or large variable names, so the better thing is to use underscore. And you can also see that I have used a number, right? So Python didn't give me the error. If I execute the cell, so it will store the ABC in my third school variable. And if I print the same thing here, so I will get its value, right? So these are the variables rules. So if you people have any confusion, please let me know. Otherwise, we will move to another topic, which is data types. Yes, please. Is there any confusion? You can text if you have any confusion. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, now the topic is data types. Okay, so what is actually data types, or what are actually data types? So look, whatever we see in Python, whatever whichever type of data we see in Python are actually four types, must consist of four types. So the first is we call integer, the second is we call float, the third is string, and the fourth is boolean. Okay, so what they are, look, integer is actually any number without decimal, a number without decimal. So this is simply an integer. So if we see a number without a decimal, we directly call it integer. Fine. And what is float? Float is actually a decimal number. We can write a number with decimal, or actually a decimal number. And what is string? Okay, this is very important. Anything enclosed in single or double quote. Fine. So very string, we can have a word, for example, we can have a word like laptop. So we said if we write a word, sentence, symbol or paragraph, so we must have to enclose them in single or double quote. So it is actually a string, but a string is not limited to only these alphabets or these words or sentences. If we even enclose a number, any number like integer or float, into single or double quote, so it will also be considered a string. We go to the examples right now. Let me just complete boolean. So boolean is actually two things, either true or false. Fine. So again, data types, whatever we see or whichever data we see in Python, they are actually of four types. It can be either integer, float, string or boolean. So let me take a few examples now for integer first. So for example, if I have simply a number like 50, 100 or any other number which is without decimal, so we will call it integer. Fine. And there is one important function here, which is type. Fine. Like we studied a function, print function in our first class. So what it was doing, it actually shows the text or whatever we provide to it, and it shows that thing on the console or at the bottom of the cell. Fine. Similarly, type function will tell you the type of the data. So for example, if I write 50 here or any number here, so what we are going to get, we will get integer, short form of integer, right? So what I got, integer, when I wrote 50. So this is showing that any number without decimal is actually an integer. Python considers it integer. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. So this is integer. Now if I talk about the float, so what is float? It's also very simple. A number with decimal or a decimal number, a number that contains point. So let me write a value of pi. For example, pi is what? 3.142. So the value of pi is 3.142, and now we have a decimal here, we have a point here. So this means that this number, right, this number is actually of type float. What is the data type for this number? It is float. And remember one thing, we are assigning or we are storing this value into this pi variable. We are storing 3.142 value into pi variable. So this also change the type of the variable. Like I mean, pi contains this number 3.142, which is actually float. So pi variable will also have the data type of float. Okay, look what I meant by this. Possibly you will understand with this. So if I write type and I directly pass the number here 3.142, so we will see that since it contains decimal, so it is float. So Python also recognizes it with the name float. Fine. So we directly passed the number. Now I am saying if I want to find the type of pi. Pi is actually variable, remember this. Pi is actually a variable. So since pi contains a number with decimal, so decimal number is actually float. So pi data type, pi variable data type is also a float. So let me run this and we see that pi type of pi is also a float. Fine. So either it is directly a number or we have stored that number or data into variable. So variable type will also become the type of that data. I think does this make sense what I'm trying to say? Okay, fine. Okay, now look, string. This is important thing. String, what I wrote, anything enclosed in single or double quote. So for example, let me take a variable is at home, for example, and if I write yes, so look, yes is a word. Hmm? Yes is a word, and what I said, when we are writing a word, sentence, paragraph, symbol, so we must have to enclose them in single or double quote. This is compulsory. Otherwise, Python will throw the error. Okay, let me remove this thing, and we will see that we have already got this yellow underline. And if I execute the cell, so it will give me the error. Name yes is not defined, means Python does not recognize what to do with yes. So if we have written yes in single or double quote, so Python now understands, oh, so it has to save yes into the variable is at home. Fine. So now yes is stored in the variable is at home. Fine. Okay, now yes, yes is called string. Yes is called string. Why it is string? Because it is enclosed in single or double quote. So we call it string. Okay, so let me find the type with the help of type function is at home, and we will see str, which is a shorthand of string. So anything which is enclosed in single or double quote, it is string. Now look this thing which is interesting. If I take a variable age and I have a number, for example 32, so if I write this way, if I write only 32, so which type of which data type it is? It is integer. Fine, it is integer. But if I enclose even this number into single or double quote, okay, let me enclose it in double quote. So now this 32 is also treated as a string. This 32 is also treated as a string to Python. So let me find the type of this age. So we will see that it shows a string. Is this clear? Okay, so now these things are clear to you that integer is simply a number without decimal, float is a decimal number, a string is actually anything which is enclosed in single or double quote, either it is a number, word, sentence, paragraph, symbols, or anything. So its type become a string. Now the last data type is boolean. So boolean actually two values. Boolean are actually two values, either true or false. So let me take for example is at school, for example, equals to, and I assign the value false. And we can also directly use true or false in the type function. Right now we are finding the type of different words or different data. So let me write type function, and if I assign, or if I write true or false, anything, so we get bool, a shortcut for boolean. So true is actually uh, a boolean data type. Similarly, if I write false here, so it will also give me the bool here. Sorry. Fine. Okay, one more thing, we also sometimes we also use 1 and 0 for these boolean values. So we use 1 for true and 0 for false. Fine. But interestingly, if I pass 1 here, look, if I pass 1 here, so Python will recognize it what, boolean or what? Can anyone answer please? If I pass 1 to type function, so what will Python show? Is it boolean or what? Exactly, integer. Exactly, Python will give me integer, right? Because In some conditions, we can convert. We can convert 1 and 0 to true and false. And how we can do this? Look, very simple. If I write bool is a function, is a Python function, and now if I pass 1 here, now this 1 will ultimately give signal to Python that this is true. uh, bool 1, writing bool 1, what it will do, it will show the signal, or it will tell Python that this is true. So let me execute this first, so we can see what is the output. True. What is the output? True. So I just passed 1 to bool function. So what will Python do? Bool function will convert this one into true, which has a data type boolean. Sorry, sorry. And if I again write all this thing into type function, so we can see the type bool. Fine. So is this correct? Is this understandable? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. So these are data types in Python. Okay. So what is the advantage of understanding or uh, having the concept of data types? So look, whenever we are dealing whenever we are doing programming, so we come across of mathematics or mathematical concepts. So for example, since you people have the concept of this data types, so let me tell you an important function which is input. Let me write input here. So now understand what this function does. This actually takes the input from the user. This function takes the input from the user. How? Look, for example, I pass a text here and I write, please enter a number. Fine. I have used this simple input function, which is just like print function input, and I have given single or double quote I can use, and I have written a text, please enter a number. Correct. And if I run this cell now, you will see sorry, you will see a text here that it is asking me for the number. So for example, if I enter 5, so now what will happen? Okay, wait a minute, sorry. Okay, so if I execute this cell, so it will ask me for the number. So if I write any number, let's say 5, so what is happening? Just understand this thing. If you can see that 5 is enclosed in single quote, 5 is enclosed in single quote, which is the indication that it is what? Integer, float, string, or what?
String.
Exactly, it is a string. So let me do one thing. Let me store, for example, let me call this let me store whatever user inputs, here. I will store it in num1. Fine. And let me copy the same line, and let me name this variable num2. So I'm asking actually the user to enter the number 2 times. Fine. Okay, look, so I execute the cell, and this is the first print statement. Let me write 5 and I press enter. So I will enter another number, let's say 10. So the values are stored in num1 and num2. Num1 and num2. Okay, now you will understand what is the benefit of understanding data types. So look, they are actually numbers. They are actually numbers. Now I want to add these two numbers. I want to add these two numbers. So let me write num1 plus num2. Simply I will write num1 and num2, and this should be clear to you people that num1 actually contains this data. Num1 actually contains this 5. Num2 contains this 10 number, right? And now we have two options. Either we can store the output of this summation in a variable, or we can also directly print it. So let me store the output of these two numbers into a new variable, which is sum, and let me print here. Okay, first tell me, is this are you people understanding this thing what I am trying to do? Please confirm, then I will move on. Yes, please. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So look, now what I am telling you, that I have already shown to you people the data type for this 5 and for this 10, right? So now I am performing addition, or I am adding num1 and num2. So what the answer is going to be? Is it 15 or something else? Num1 will call 5, right? Num1 will call 5 and num2 will call 10. So technically it should be 15, right? But it is not going to be 15. Let me run it. Look what it is. It is 510. It is 510. And why it is 510? Now understand one thing. This actually, when I when I entered the number here, so we got 5. But look, 5 was enclosed like this in single quote. Similarly, when I had taken a number 10 from the user, so it is also enclosed in single quote. Now understand one thing. When the data type is string, Python cannot perform simple or mathematical calculations on those numbers. Are you getting? When data type is string, Python cannot do simple mathematical operations like multiplication, division, or any mathematical operation on string data type numbers. Does this make sense?
Yes.
So what I have to do, I have to convert them either into integer or into float. I have to convert them either into integer or into float, right? Why? Because Python can perform calculation only on these two data types, which are integer and float. If it is string, no benefit. There is no calculation or addition or subtraction or anything else. Similarly, not even on boolean. So we have to either use integer or float. So what I will do, I have taken the input with the help of this input function from the user, and we know that the input is type of string. So let me just write it quickly here. Type num1, so that I can show you people that it is string. So when it is string, Python cannot do the calculation. So what is the solution? The solution is simple, that we have to convert these numbers either into integer or either into float. So what to do with for that? I have a function which is called integer, only int. I will add only int. I will open the bracket and I will put another bracket at the end of the statement. So now 5 is no more a string, it is integer now. Similarly, I will do the same thing here. I will select the whole line, enclose this into bracket, and I will write integer here, right? Okay, before I execute this cell, just understand one thing here. Okay, let me do this quickly because I have left only, I think, 4 to 5 minutes in the class. So look, when I added strings, so what I got 510, and this is what it is called. It is called concatenation. It is called concatenation. And what is happening here? Understand the concept. Num1 actually contains 5 like this. Fine. And then we have plus sign, and then num2 contains 10, like this. So now Python cannot perform addition on these numbers. So rather what it will do, it will concatenate. Python, this is the Python word, concatenate, or in simple words we can say Python will combine them. Python will combine them. So what we get, we get 510. Python will combine them and remove this single and double quote if it is single or double quote. So Python will remove them and just provide the numbers by writing them together. So this concept is called concatenation. What it is called? Concatenation. And when does this happen? This happens when we are trying to add add numbers of string data type. Clear? Okay, fine. So now what I have done, I have actually changed the data type from string to integer in both the lines, right? And one more thing, important concept here, that whenever we are changing the data type, we call the process typecasting. No, no. What do you mean? Wording also like this means you do you mean concatenation? If you mean concatenation, yes, we can also concatenate the words like this. Like I have first name variable which is Muhammad, second name Azim, and if I write like first name plus last name, so it will concatenate or it will combine my first name and second name, right? So you can also try it. Right now I do not have a time, otherwise I must have done it, so sorry for that. Okay, so typecasting, what is typecasting? Typecasting is actually converting the data type from one converting the data from one type to another type. This is called typecasting, and this is what we are doing here. So we have converted string into integer. So now if I execute it again, let me execute. I write 5, then 10, and now if I check, so we have finally the type of num1 is integer. And now if I execute this line, so we get 15, right? So this is how we do the calculation in Python, and this is why you must need to know data types for this purpose. So is there any confusion for this? Is there any question?
Not so far.
Okay, so inshallah, based on these concepts, we will be writing, I think, in the next class or in the next to next class, like probably in the next Sunday class, a BMI calculator. So these concepts will definitely help you to develop that BMI calculator. So inshallah, we end the class right now, and we will be taking the remaining two classes, inshallah, on the next weekend. And if you have any confusion, you can text me on WhatsApp. Inshallah, I will answer.
Thank you.
Welcome. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Allah Hafiz.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Allah Hafiz.
Thanks to you people as well.